LEGO has set an incredibly high bar for itself as it continues to release creative sets, but the designers at LEGO never fail to find new ways to surprise builders. Today we'll explore more of the most clever and genius building techniques found in official LEGO sets. Kicking things off today, a viewer named Matt Brack spotted something brilliant while digging through the Disney Up House. With 598 pieces and retailing for $60, this set has been a hit with Disney and LEGO fans alike. The build manages to cram in a lot of unique pieces and clever building techniques. One of the coolest can be found on page 14 of the instructions when building Carl's record player. This brilliant little assembly only uses 7 pieces but does so perfectly. The very best part has got to be the use of a minifigure miner helmet in black, not to mention that this is the only 4th time that this piece has ever appeared in that color, so it's always nice to see. Up next, take a look at 2024's Natural History Museum. It's one of the best buildings that LEGO has ever released and is jam-packed with tiny references such as these micro versions of LEGO classics, such as the Forest Men's Hideout, Yellow Castle, and Galaxy Explorer, but it's also got some incredibly creative parts. In my last video, many of you pointed out the brown whip piece used as a fossil, and 2 fans of the channel named Sven and Joe mentioned the fact that the dinosaur skeleton uses white banana pieces as ribs. Likely not very tasty, but they do work perfectly in this build. However, this is hardly the only building with something clever hiding in it. The Parisian restaurant modular was released back in 2014 and has since become a benchmark for the quality in the line. This image perfectly captures what I'm talking about. For starters, check out the lattice work just underneath the window. You're looking at 18 gray feather pieces. These pieces are quite versatile and have been used in green for small plants in sets such as the Ninjago movie Destiny's Bounty, as well as elaborate feather quills for writing in sets such as this Gift with Purchase from 2018. Just above the feathers though, you'll notice that the centers of the decorations are 2 white clamshell pieces, and surrounding those are a total of 4 white croissants. How very fitting. While a ghostly white croissant might not be the most appetizing piece of food that LEGO has ever released, it has been used a few times in some very clever ways. The Fantastic Insect Collection used these pieces in a clever yet kind of gross manner. 2 of them appear underneath the Hercules beetle as a few grubs. 2 more of these parts can be found on the head of the 575-piece Master Wu dragon. However, this white croissant has also been used at least once to represent actual food. Out behind the boutique hotel, there's a small blue dumpster holding a single moldy piece of French bread. Another brilliant part usage in this same set can be found out front on the palm tree. While LEGO used to make dedicated palm tree parts, these days LEGO designers have to think outside of the box a little to change things up. In this set, they cleverly used a series of golden crown elements, which at first seems like quite a unique piece, but you see these have been popping up in quite a few sets lately. These same crowns have also been used in sets like the Avengers Hulk Helicopter Rescue, and likewise the incredible Mighty Azure Lion from the Monkey Kid theme also uses one at the very end of its tail. At the other end of this same set though, we've got a few other parts worth pointing out. Seriously, just take a look at the face on this thing and tell me you're not impressed. The gold leaves behind the unique printed eyes add an amazing bit of flair, and the heart-shaped gold tiles for the nose are an absolutely perfect fit and really tie the whole thing together. I can imagine that the LEGO designer took a long time perfecting this set. Another set to use one of these crown pieces is the Tranquil Garden, which uses 2 of them in lavender alongside these minion hair tufts recolored in yellowish orange to create some lovely lily pads. You can see them here in the instructions. Finding a way to discreetly incorporate minion pieces is absolutely hilarious and awesome. I wouldn't be surprised to see this piece pop up in other creative ways within upcoming sets. The Tranquil Garden also includes a somewhat rare gray frog element, as well as several koi fish tiles, which have otherwise only appeared in a handful of LEGO Friends sets. Now, on the topic of uncommon pieces, a viewer going by the name Dean Smart noticed that the UCS General Grievous is hiding a minifigure hood in a rather unusual place. On page 62 of the instructions, you're told to gather a handful of small bricks, as well as a hood and 2 of these tail elements. On their own, each of these seemed pretty out of place in this build, and some people initially thought they'd gotten the wrong parts after opening up the bag. Well, LEGO designers know what they're doing, and these 3 parts combine to form the General's withered organic heart and lungs. Another genius use for a minifigure accessory was submitted by a fan calling himself the Void Guy, who noticed that both the I Am Groot and the Venomized Groot sets make use of minifigure shields with unique printing for their eyes, which I think is quite cool. Moving on, the Rocket Launch Center set released in 2022 and brought a little touch of classic space to LEGO City with its 1,010 pieces and iconic blue and yellow launch tower. Overall, this is a pretty nice set, though a bit pricey at $160. That's thanks to its above average of large pieces in this set, such as these white quarter dome elements. Nonetheless, this set also contains a few fairly rare parts, such as tubs in both white and light bluish gray used in the rocket's boosters. Both of these are fairly rare, with the gray version appearing in both the Galaxy Explorer and Imperial Star Destroyer as part of the engines, and the white version only appearing in one other set, the NASA Artemis Space Launch System. This set shares more than just a passing resemblance to the City version though, as it has more than 3 times as many parts. However, that's not even close to the best part though. As mentioned by a fan named SpitBrix, these two sets share at least one other rare element, this beehive piece in titanium silver. This piece has been issued in a few colors over the years, but only 3 sets actually have it in this color. Interestingly, they all kind of use it in the same way, as part of the rocket. I hope that these bees enjoy their trip far above the ground. Oh, and while we're already so close to space, there's a little something hiding in the Endor Speeder Chase diorama that was spotted by a fan named Shipping Sucks. On page 70, you'll need to fish out 2 minifigure cleavers while building the first speeder. While using a butcher's knife while hurtling through the dense forests might not seem like a smart choice, that's not what these are for. Instead, these are used to create the rear spoiler on each of the set's 2 speeder bikes. Now, of course, I can't talk about brilliant space sets without mentioning the Milky Way Galaxy set from the stunning LEGO art line. This build is truly massive, measuring 22 inches across and 11 inches tall, or 56 by 28 centimeters. Hidden among this set's 3,091 pieces, builders will find dozens of unique parts and clever choices. For starters, it's very important to identify where exactly we are in the grand scheme of the cosmos, and LEGO has made that incredibly easy. This little "You Are Here" sign is a brand new element and a brilliant addition to this build. What's cooler is that our little corner of the galaxy glows in the dark. But that's hardly the only little detail hiding in this set. Let me show you what I mean, and as I do, go tap that subscribe button to support my channel if you're enjoying this video. My personal favorite piece has got to be this crab piece appearing in orange for the first time. But what's a crab doing lurking in the depths of space? Well, this piece represents the Crab Nebula. The set also contains a miniature version of the spacecraft launched by the European Space Agency in 2013. Beyond these little references though, this set is overrun by clever and unique parts. First off, a small fun fact about LEGO terminology. All of these little details that appear on the surface of builds, well, that's called greebling, and this set is an absolutely masterclass in doing it well. We've got pink peaches and purple carrots, white forks and plumes, kitchen whisks, pink coffee cups, binoculars, cupcakes, and even a single coral-colored frog. Oh, and I can't forget about this little guy hiding out among the stars. On the whole, this build is just an absolute blast and will keep you pleasantly surprised throughout. Now, a coffee cup might not be the most expected thing to find floating around in the emptiness of space, but that's far from the only unexpected place that LEGO has managed to sneak one in. The Maersk Line Triple E from 2014 holds the dubious honor of having the second most stickers in any LEGO set with 133, but that's not what earned it a spot in today's video. No. Instead, this ship is hiding a few clear coffee cups in a rather surprising place, the bow railing. Yup, if you look closely, you'll see that this part of the ship is supported by a few clear coffee mugs. I can imagine working on a long-haul carrier ship requires a lot of late nights, but there are some things that even coffee can't fix. This set is hiding other gems too. Just take a look at these lifeboat supports for a real blast. I mean, yup, that's a submachine gun holding the lifeboat in place, and this set has 2 of them. Talk about firepower. Additionally, the radar scanners on the top of the ship are minifigure ice skates. Big thanks to Peter for highlighting these details in the comments of my previous IQ sets video. Now, while I'm already talking about LEGO versions of commercial transport vehicles, a user going by Supermarket Sweep told me about how the Mack Anthem from 2018 contains an incredible piece that somehow has never been used in any other set before or since. This bulldog hood ornament sits front and center on this truck and perfectly recreates the brand's iconic trademark. I'd love to get some more of these in different colors, though it seems very unlikely at this point as it's a registered trademark and has only ever been created created and used in this one very particular set. This is just one of those weird pieces of LEGO history which are certainly fun to discover. Now, it seems like the Lord of the Rings Rivendell build comes up very frequently when we discuss genius sets, and for good reason. This set is one of the all-time greatest LEGO sets ever, and while this build is genuinely impressive from start to finish, there's one area that even die-hard fans have found themselves in awe. Over steps 215 to 219, you'll need to place a total of 266 1x1 tiles to create the detail on the roof. Now, that's a real chore, but the real challenge is keeping them straight. Individually aligning each of these tile pieces one at a time would take ages, and this has got to be one of the most frustrating ways I can think of to spend an afternoon. Luckily, the genius builders at LEGO realized this, and they included one of the most brilliant steps I've ever come across in LEGO instructions. Once everything is in place, the instructions tell you to grab a 2x10 plate and simply slide it through the gaps, leaving behind a perfectly straight row of pieces. A perfect solution. Up next, we need to talk about one of my favorite themes, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary since Series 1. LEGO Mixels was an incredible theme that really hit the sweet spot for a lot of fans and are fondly remembered to this day as some of LEGO's most creative builds, as almost every one of these little guys had at least one unique part or rare color. A user named StickBots pointed out a few of the many wacky pieces used in the builds of these unique characters. Series 9's Cobrax used a snake for a tongue, Forks from Series 6 used gray bananas as eyebrows, and Zorch used a handlebar to create a unibrow. My favorite though has got to be Velectro and his one-of-a-kind hair made from a large yellow bush piece. But that's not all, because there are many more clever parts used in other sets. Click here right now for more genius LEGO sets, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel SpitBrix for more LEGO videos.